Ladies and gentlemen, hear me today. One of the greatest gifts God has given you is the ability to choose your relationships. The people you allow in your life will either elevate you or destroy you. Your future is too important to be compromised by the wrong company. A wise person understands this principle. Not everyone deserves access to your life. If you want to fulfill your purpose, you must learn to identify and silently cut off 6 types of people. Number 1, a wise person protects their vision by avoiding dream killers. Number 2, parasites drain your energy. Cut them off silently. Number 3, pretenders smile in your face but secretly envy you. Number 4, complainers create a negative environment that hinders growth. Number 5, time wasters steal your most valuable resource, time. Number 6, doubters weaken your faith. Move forward without them. Ladies and gentlemen, hear me today. One of the greatest tragedies in life is not the lack of resources, opportunities, or connections, but the presence of the wrong voices in your ear. The people you allow into your life can determine the height of your success or the depth of your failure. A wise person understands that not everyone deserves access to their mind, because the wrong words spoken at the right time can kill a dream before it even begins. Let me confess, every great achievement in history started with a vision, a dream, a spark of inspiration, an idea placed in the heart of someone willing to believe. But hear me well. Every dreamer faces opposition, and often that opposition comes from the people closest to them. Not everyone will see what you see. Not everyone will understand what God has placed inside of you. And if you are not careful, you will allow the wrong voices to plant seeds of doubt in your mind. Dream killers come in many forms. Some are family members, some are friends, some are colleagues. They are the ones who look at your vision and say, that's too big, you're thinking too high. Maybe you should settle for something more realistic. They believe they are being practical, but in reality, they are placing limitations on something they were never meant to understand. What they fail to realize is that God does not give everyone the same vision. He gives you a dream because he knows you are the one who has the capacity to fulfill it. And if you keep entertaining voices that contradict what God has spoken to you, you will start to second guess yourself. A wise person does not argue with dream killers. They do not waste time trying to convince those who refuse to see. They understand that belief is a personal decision. And if someone chooses not to believe in their vision, it is not their responsibility to explain it. Sometimes the best response to doubt is silent action. A wise person simply keeps moving forward, allowing their progress to speak louder than the doubts of others. Consider the story of Joseph. He had a dream, a vision of greatness. But when he shared it with his brothers, instead of celebrating him, they resented him. Instead of supporting him, they plotted against him. Why? Because not everyone is capable of handling the dreams God places in you. Some people will see your vision as a threat. Others will feel insecure because your dream forces them to confront their own lack of ambition. Instead of being inspired, they will try to bring you down to their level. Hear me well. You must protect your vision. If Joseph had allowed his brother's hatred to discourage him, he would have never reached the palace. If he had abandoned his dream because of their rejection, he would have never fulfilled his destiny. A wise person learns to move in silence, sharing their vision only with those who have the capacity to believe. Because the truth is, you don't need a crowd to affirm you. You don't need a majority vote to walk in your purpose. All you need is the conviction that what God placed in you is real. Dream killers are dangerous because they don't always appear as enemies. Sometimes they come disguised as loved ones with good intentions. They will tell you to be realistic, play it safe, or have a backup plan. But wisdom understands that faith is not always logical. Purpose does not always make sense to those who have never stepped out in boldness. The greatest achievements in history were accomplished by those who refused to listen to the voices of limitation. They believed when others doubted. They acted when others hesitated. They moved forward when others told them to stop. A wise person surrounds themselves with people who fuel their faith, not those who feed their fear. They seek out relationships that inspire, encourage, and uplift, because success is not only about what you know, but also about who you allow to influence you. If you walk with dreamers, you will dream. If you walk with visionaries, you will see further. But if you entertain those who always speak of impossibility, you will begin to shrink your own expectations. So today, I challenge you, evaluate the voices around you. Are they pushing you forward or pulling you back? Are they strengthening your belief or planting doubt? A wise person does not announce their departure from dream killers. They don't argue, they don't debate, they don't fight for approval, for secure, for the bestowed, and they prove me, you, mira me. They simply keep moving forward, because when you're truly focused on your purpose, you don't have time to convince others to believe in what was never meant for them to understand. Protect your vision, move in silence, and when the time is right, let your success speak for itself. Ladies and gentlemen, listen carefully. One of the greatest dangers in life is not always visible to the eye. It does not come in the form of a storm or a sudden disaster, but in the slow, silent drain of the wrong people in your life. A wise person understands that relationships are either deposits or withdrawals. Some people add to your life while others only take. And if you are not careful, you will wake up one day realizing that you have been pouring into people who were never meant to carry what you have inside of you. There are people who enter your life not because they love you, but because they need something from you. They come with smiles, with kind words, with promises of friendship, but their true intention is not to build you, it is to use you. They attach themselves to you not because they see your worth, but because they see what they can gain from being connected to you. These are the parasites of life. They take your time, your energy, your resources, your attention, but never give anything in return. A wise person discerns these people quickly. They recognize when a relationship is one-sided. They see when someone only calls when they need something. They observe when they are always giving but never receiving. And without argument, without explanation, they silently walk away. Because wisdom understands that you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot continue giving to people who are only there to drain you. Many people are struggling today, not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they are surrounded by people who do nothing but take. They carry friendships that exhaust them, relationships that deplete them, connections that bring no value. And instead of walking away, they stay, hoping that one day things would change. But hear me well. A parasite never stops taking until you remove it. It does not suddenly decide to give back. It does not one day become a source of nourishment. Its very nature is to consume until there is nothing left. Some of you are feeling drained, not because of the work you do, but because of the people around you. You invest in them, but they never invest. You support them, but when it is your time to receive, they are nowhere to be found. This is not love. This is not friendship. This is manipulation disguised as relationship. A wise person knows their value. They understand that their time, their energy, their presence is a gift, not an obligation. They do not allow people to take advantage of their kindness. They do not feel guilty for walking away from those who refuse to grow, who refuse to give, who refuse to contribute. Because at the end of the day, you are responsible for your own well-being. No one else will protect your peace. No one else will guard your energy. You do not owe anyone endless access to your life. You do not have to explain why you are pulling back. You do not need to justify why you are no longer available. A wise person understands that silence is the best response to those who only see them as a source of benefit. They do not fight, they do not argue, they do not announce their departure. They simply disconnect. Many great destinies have been delayed because people held on to relationships they should have let go of long ago. Many dreams have been hindered because time and energy were wasted on people who never had the capacity to reciprocate. But today, wisdom is calling you to make a decision. Who is truly adding to your life? Who is only there to take? If you do not ask yourself these questions, you will continue to feel drained, tired, and unfulfilled. A wise person surrounds themselves with those who pour back into them, with those who encourage, uplift, and support, because life is too short to be spent in relationships that only consume and never replenish. If someone is only in your life to take, it is time to release them. And when you do, you will realize how much lighter, freer, and more focused you become. Ladies and gentlemen, listen carefully. Not everyone who is close to you is truly with you. One of the greatest mistakes you can make in life is to assume that just because someone smiles at you, they have your best interest at heart. A wise person understands that not every hand that claps for you is celebrating you. Some people are not in your life because they love you, but because they want to monitor you. They stay close not to support you, but to study you, to analyze your progress, to see if you will rise above them. And the most dangerous part, they will never reveal their true intentions until the right moment comes. Pretenders are masters of disguise. They know how to speak the right words, how to position themselves in your life, how to make you believe they are for you. They show up in times of struggle, not because they want to help, but because they want to see how much you can endure. They listen to your dreams, not because they want to support you, but because they want to measure how far ahead you might go. And when you finally start to rise, when you finally step into your purpose, you will notice something. They are no longer as supportive as they used to be. Their encouragement starts to fade, their enthusiasm starts to weaken, and in moments where you expect them to celebrate you, they remain silent. A wise person pays attention to silence. They observe who disappears when good news comes. They take note of who struggles to congratulate them. Because jealousy never announces itself openly, it hides in delayed responses, in passive-aggressive comments, in lukewarm applause. 2. A pretender will never directly attack you, but they will subtly plant seeds of doubt, whisper words that shake your confidence, or suddenly become too busy when you need them the most. Some of the greatest betrayals in history did not come from strangers. They came from those who sat at the same table, who shared the same space, who claimed to be loyal. Judas was not an outsider. He was one of the 12. He walked with Jesus, ate with him, listened to his teachings. Yet when the opportunity came, he was the very one who handed him over. Why? Because a pretender only stays as long as it benefits them. The moment your success threatens them, the moment your progress exposes their insecurity, they will either try to bring you down or quietly distance themselves. A wise person does not confront pretenders with words. They do not argue. They do not beg for loyalty. They do not force relationships that were never meant to last. They simply step back and watch. Time will always reveal true intentions. The people who are truly for you will celebrate you without hesitation. They will uplift you without envy. But those who only pretended to be with you will find a reason to withdraw when your success no longer serves them. Many people remain stuck in life because they are surrounded by secret enemies disguised as friends. They share their plans with those who secretly hope they fail. They invite people into their space who do not genuinely want to see them succeed, and then they wonder why things are not moving forward. But hear me well, not everyone who hears your vision should be part of your journey. Some people only want access to your life so they can delay you, distract you, or discourage you. A wise person guards their circle. They do not give everyone access to their thoughts, their plans, their dreams. They move with discernment, knowing that not everyone who is present is truly aligned with their purpose. You do not have to expose a pretender. You do not have to prove that you see through them. A wise person understands that silence is the greatest weapon against deception. They do not announce their awareness. They simply reposition themselves. They distance themselves without making a scene, because when you stop feeding a pretender with your trust, your time, your access, they eventually reveal themselves. The right people will remain. The wrong ones will remove themselves. And in the end, your circle will be filled with those who truly belong. Ladies and gentlemen, hear me today. Your mind is the soil where the seeds of your future are planted. What you allow to be spoken into your life will determine what grows inside of you. A wise person understands that words are powerful, that conversations shape destinies, and that the voices around you influence the way you think, believe, and act. If you surround yourself with negativity, doubt, and complaints, do not be surprised when your life reflects the same, because no one can rise higher than the atmosphere they constantly breathe in. There are people who have made it their life's habit to complain. No matter what happens, they will always find something wrong. They complain about their job, about their family, about their opportunities. They see problems in every situation, but never offer solutions. And if you are not careful, their negativity will begin to poison your spirit. You will start thinking like them, speaking like them, and eventually living like them, because the company you keep determines the mindset you develop. A wise person listens carefully to the words people speak. They recognize that someone who constantly complains is not looking for improvement, they are looking for sympathy. They are not searching for solutions, they are seeking agreement. And if you allow yourself to be drawn into their web of negativity, you will find yourself carrying burdens that were never meant for you. You will begin to see obstacles where there are none. You will start doubting possibilities that were once clear to you. Because when you listen to complaints long enough, you stop believing that change is possible. Some people have been delayed in life because they have surrounded themselves with complainers. Every time they try to take a step forward, someone reminds them why it won't work. Every time they share a new idea, someone tells them why it's too risky. Some people don't even try because they won't be believed, because they will be too base. You know what I I wasn't going to make the same kind of progress. When they were being pushed forward. And instead of pushing forward, they shrink back. Instead of believing in what they once knew was possible, they settle for mediocrity. Not because they lacked ability, but because they allowed the wrong voices to shape their thinking. A wise person does not waste time arguing with complainers. They do not try to convince negative people to see the good in life, because complaining is not about circumstances. It is about perspective. Two people can face the same situation, yet one will see a challenge while the other sees an opportunity. One will complain while the other finds a way forward. The difference is not in what they experience, but in how they choose to respond. You must be careful who you allow to speak into your life. If someone is always negative, always discouraged, always speaking about what's wrong, you must distance yourself. Not because you do not care, but because you understand that your mind is too valuable to be polluted with doubt. Your spirit is too precious to be weighed down by unnecessary burdens. A wise person protects their mental and emotional energy, knowing that what they feed their mind will shape their future. Some people will try to keep you in a cycle of negativity because they do not want to see you rise. Now, they are comfortable where they are, and your desire to move forward makes them uncomfortable. So they will try to bring you down, not with force, but with words. They will remind you of past failures. They will highlight everything that could go wrong. They will question whether you are really capable. And if you are not strong in your convictions, you will begin to hesitate. You will begin to doubt what you once believed. A wise person does not argue with a complainer. They do not explain their decisions. They do not seek approval from those who refuse to see possibilities. They simply walk away. Because when you remove yourself from negative environments, you give yourself the freedom to grow. You create space for faith, for creativity, for progress. And in the end, you will realize that the greatest decision you ever made was to protect your mind from the weight of unnecessary complaints. Ladies and gentlemen, listen carefully. Time is the most valuable gift you have been given. Unlike money, you can never earn more of it. Unlike opportunities, once it is gone, it never returns. A wise person understands that how they use their time determines the quality of their life. And just as you must be careful about who you allow to influence your thoughts, you must also be careful about who you allow to occupy your time. Because time wasted is life wasted. There are people who enter your life not to help you grow, not to push you forward, but to distract you. They do not come with purpose. They come with meaningless conversations, endless drama, and unnecessary activities. They are always available for entertainment, but never present for progress. They keep you busy, but never productive. And if you are not careful, you will find yourself years down the road wondering where your time went, why your dreams never materialized, why your goals were never accomplished, why your potential remained untapped. A wise person recognizes time wasters early. They see when a conversation is leading nowhere. They recognize when a relationship is full of empty talk and no action. They understand that not everyone who seeks their time deserves it, because life is too short to be spent on things that do not align with purpose. Some people remain stagnant, not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they are constantly surrounded by those who have no direction. They spend hours engaging in discussions that bring no value. They entertain people who have no ambition, who live only for the moment, who do not think beyond today. And in the end, they wonder why they have not moved forward. But hear me well. Your life will always move in the direction of the people you spend the most time with. A wise person does not argue with time wasters. They do not try to change them. They do not explain why they are moving on. They simply make a decision to focus. Because purpose requires discipline, and discipline requires the ability to say no to distractions, to meaningless conversations, to people who do not respect your time. Some of you are struggling today, not because you lack potential, but because you have given too much of your time to the wrong things. You have delayed your dreams because of people who do not share your vision. You have postponed your progress because of friendships that only entertain but never build. But wisdom calls you today to make a decision. How are you spending your time? Who is taking up your energy? If someone is not adding value to your life, you must be willing to step away. A wise person does not make announcements when they cut off time wasters. They do not explain their silence. They simply realign their focus. And when they do, they begin to see results. More clarity, more progress, more opportunities. Because when you stop wasting time, you create space for what truly matters. Ladies and gentlemen, hear me well. One of the most dangerous things in life is not a visible enemy, not a great failure, not even a major obstacle. It is the presence of someone in your life who refuses to grow. A wise person understands that life is a journey of progress, a path of continuous learning, and that true relationships should bring elevation, not stagnation. But if you surround yourself with people who have no desire to grow, who resist change, who reject wisdom, then do not be surprised when your life starts to feel heavy, because you cannot move forward while tied to those who refuse to move. There are people who love where they are. They are comfortable with mediocrity. They have no hunger for knowledge, no desire for improvement, no passion for anything beyond their current state. And when you try to elevate, they discourage you. When you speak about your vision, they call it unrealistic. When you strive for more, they make you feel guilty, as if ambition is a crime. These people are not just refusing to grow themselves, they are trying to keep you from growing as well. A wise person pays attention to this kind of stagnation, because if you are not careful, you will begin to adjust to their level. You will start thinking that what you have is enough, that there is no need to push further, that striving for better is unnecessary. And before you know it, you have settled. Not because you lacked ability, but because you surrounded yourself with people who lacked vision. Some of you are struggling today, not because life is against you, but because you have people in your life who are pulling you downward. They have no dreams of their own, so they mock yours. They do not invest in their own growth, so they laugh at your commitment to learning. They waste their time, so they make you feel guilty for using yours wisely. And if you allow them to stay close, their mindset will eventually become yours. A wise person understands that you cannot carry people who do not want to move. You can inspire, you can encourage, you can set an example, but you cannot force anyone to grow. And if someone refuses to elevate, you must be willing to walk away. Not because you do not care, but because your destiny is too important to be delayed by someone else's comfort zone. Some of you are afraid to let go of people because you have known them for years, but hear me. Time does not determine the value of a relationship. Growth does. If a person is in your life but is not growing with you, then their presence is not a benefit, it is a weight. And a wise person does not carry unnecessary weight. You do not have to announce your departure. You do not have to explain why you are moving forward. You simply move. Because when you surround yourself with those who are also growing, who are pushing forward, who are striving for better, you will find that life begins to open doors you never imagined. And in the end, you will realize that the greatest decision you made was. As we conclude today, I want to leave you with this. Wisdom is not just about knowing what to do, but having the courage to act on it. The people you allow into your life shape your journey, and a wise person understands that not every relationship, not every encounter, and not every influence is worth keeping. It's about recognizing when to cut off what no longer serves you, whether it's negativity, stagnation, or a lack of growth. You are the architect of your life, and you have the power to decide who and what you allow to build alongside you. Remember, a wise person does not waste time trying to change the unchangeable. They simply focus on their own growth, their own progress, and their own vision. They surround themselves with those who uplift them, who encourage their growth, and who believe in the power of their potential. As you move forward from here, I encourage you to reflect on your own relationships, your environment, and your circle. Ask yourself, are these people helping me grow? Are they adding value to my life? If the answer is no, be brave enough to step away. Protect your time, your peace, and your vision. You deserve to walk in the fullness of who you were created to be. Good luck on your journey of growth, and thank you for allowing me to share this message with you today. May your path be filled with wisdom, strength, and the courage to rise above all that holds you back. Thank you.